Hello. Thank you, Precious. And thank you, Les Brown and John Tellerico, for being my personal coach and seeing the greatness in me. I'd like to tell you guys about a story. When I was a freshman in high school back in 1991, I wanted to play a sport. I wanted to be on a team and become an athlete. So I went out for basketball and I got cut from that team. And I felt rejected. Have any of you ever felt rejected in your life? And I felt despair. And then I went out for cheerleading. And I got cut from that team too. And that rejection, it stung like road rash in the making. But there's a quote from Jean-Paul Sartre. And he says, life begins on the other side of despair. And so I encourage you to go forward and live your life. And as I moved forward and lived my life began with football. Yes, you heard me right. I went out for football because they don't cut football. And so I showed up the first day for practice and the coach said, "What are you doing here? We don't want you on our team. You're a girl." Of course, I already knew that I was a girl, but I told him, "I'm here to play football." And he said, "Go away." So I turned to walk to the office to prove him wrong, that I had a right to be there, a right to play. And he shouted, "Go home and play with your dolls." He had no idea who he was speaking to. He had no idea the things that I would do in my life. I not only didn't go home and play with my dolls, I showed up every day for practice. And I just kept coming back. And at one point, I got to a place where he just knew I wasn't leaving. So he thought, one of the coaches put a $50 price tag on my head. You heard me right. Back then, $50 was a lot of money. The boys, they hit me harder. And I gave it back to him. And I turned all that negativity that was coming at me into fuel. And at the end of the season, that same coach had to sign my letter. And I became the first female to ever play tackle football at Tehachapi High School. And then I realized that I held the keys to other people's dreams. When I saw two girls go out for wrestling, and now I work at a high school where we have 20 female wrestlers. One of them's a state champion. But my life hasn't always been that way. Yes, Mother's Day 1998, midnight, I was standing at the kitchen sink doing dishes after putting my baby to bed. My husband came in and he started screaming at me. And I thought to myself, I will not fight. It's Mother's Day. But he had other plans. And he lifted me up, one hand between my legs and one hand on my shoulder. And he held me, my head under that water in that kitchen sink. And as I gasped for air, as I fought for my life, he realized he could not take me. And it was at that moment that I stood up inside myself and I said, I will never be treated that way again by anyone in this world. And I left that marriage, and I'm here today to give you hope. To give you hope to see that you are the only one that has control of your life. The only one. No one else can do it for you. But take control of your life and live a life you're meant to live. I'm here to give you hope, to tell you I am now married to a man who loves me, who supports me, and we've been married for 21 years. And I thought life's hard balls that they're thrown at me were possibly going to stop coming at me until I heard that doctor tell me that my son had autism. Raising a child with autism is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But he's now 20 years old. So I'm here to give you hope that you will get through any dark days that you are going through. I'm here to help you see that autism's a gift. Yes, it's a gift. I didn't always see it as a gift, but I'm here to help you see that you can see anything in your life as a gift if you choose to see the strengths rather than the weaknesses. And as I learn to focus on the strengths, the gifts of unconditional love that my son gives me, the ability that I had to become stronger as a person, and the amount of lives that I've been able to touch because I know what I know, because I've had to learn the hard way. I started working in schools. And then one day, after seeing my work, 3 track and field coaches came to talk to me and asked me to be a track and field coach. I was shocked. I'd never felt so wanted in my life. Felt completely opposite from the rejection I felt earlier on. So I became a track and field varsity coach, and I coached jumps. And going into districts, my jumpers held 8 of the 16 spots. It was unheard of. All I did was help them believe in themselves. In fact, 2 of them had never jumped a day in their lives until 2 weeks before that. But I helped them see the ability they have to become who they're meant to be. And then I took a triple jumper to state, and he won 10th place in state. It's a long shot to go from being a kid in high school who couldn't get on a team to be coaching an athlete at state. But it wasn't over yet. And then I had the moment come to me where I became a varsity football coach. Yes, you heard me right. It had been never done before at that high school either. No woman had ever been a football coach. Yes, I felt uncomfortable at times, but I have learned that when you are uncomfortable, that if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable, then that is where the growth is at in our lives. And I was on a team that had been around since 1972. They'd only beat their rivals 1 time in the year 2012. That was my ultimate goal. And we not only accomplished that goal for beating our rival for the 2nd time in nearly 50 years, we broke records that hadn't been beaten since 1985. Scoring 70 points in 1 game. Countless records. You have to know your records so you can break them. If I hadn't been cut, maybe I would have never played football. If I hadn't been cut, maybe I would have just been average. I'm here to remind you, decide you're a winner, then create the evidence. My name's Coach Burnside, and I have a free gift for you at coachburnside.com. You can also book a free coaching session with me on Facebook at Coach Burnside on Facebook. I am here to help you see you have the power and the ability to live a life that you can't wait to wake up in the morning to live. Thank you.